definitely I don't want to use the word bizarre, but I think it was an unexpected draft across the board. We all thought that they'd come away with the QB of the future, or if not that, maybe the future replacement for Rob Gronkowski, and they came away with neither. So it was a pretty surprising weekend.
Yeah, weird is probably too strong of a term. It's probably unorthodox. There was definitely a very kind of there's an accepted way to go about these things. Go pursue the top needs you have. And the Patriots made their team better this weekend by adding players and talented young guys, no doubt, but not in the way that most people would have done it.
Yeah, I think the way I read it was they just, for whatever reason, they didn't like the quarterbacks that were available to them. I think one thing we really haven't talked about too much is that Josh Rosen fell to 10, and Arizona jumped from 15 to 10 and really hardly gave up anything. Arizona gave up the 15th pick, a third-round pick, and a fifth-round pick to get to number 10 overall to select Josh Rosen. So Rosen's a guy who there was some buzz in the pre-draft process around him and the Patriots. And we all said going in that, hey, maybe if this guy falls out of the top 5 to the latter half of the top 10, or as he did, all the way to number 10, the Patriots have enough to get up there and make a move. And, that offer that Oakland accepted from Arizona, the Patriots could have easily topped that if they wanted to. So that really tells me that they, I don't know if that was internally discussed, but if they were crazy about Rosen, they could have done it at number 10. And then the other QBs, clearly they didn't love Lamar-Jackson. They had a chance to draft him twice. They didn't do it. Mason Rudolph, they could have taken the second round, didn't want him. Kyle Lauletta in the fourth round, didn't want him. So I think we misread this as, going in, I said this is the Patriots' chance. They have all this draft capital. This is their chance to land the next quarterback. We just misread it, and what they ended up doing was addressing, as you said, other needs. They got, I feel, 3 players who are going to contribute immediately, plus they picked up some draft capital for 2019. So I think that's when they're probably going to try to find that future franchise quarterback.
Yeah, going back to Josh Rosen for a sec, a lot of people considered him the top pocket passer, the best pure passer in this draft. And so, like you said, a lot of people considered, they have the draft picks to spare to make that sort of move. But I think the biggest names that people had in mind were Kyle Lauletta and Lamar-Jackson. There were 2 spots in this draft where the Patriots just had the perfect situation to pick that guy fall in his lap. Heading into the week, we mocked Lamar-Jackson falling into the range of the Patriots, but we kind of thought that the Patriots would have to trade up to get Lamar-Jackson. He was on the table for them in the first round at 23 and at 31, and they didn't pull the trigger on that deal. Why do you think he was a talented guy and they had a shot on him? Why do you think they went elsewhere?
It's a good question. We don't, it's hard to pin down why, but they, if they were in love with the player, he would be a Patriot. I mean, it's, what was kind of fascinating to me was that Baltimore, the team that ended up taking him, traded down from 16 to 22, which is 1 spot ahead of the Patriots, and then they traded out of 22 to 25. So Baltimore, if they wanted Lamar Jackson, clearly they were not scared that the Patriots were going to take him at 23 because they traded down twice, and they ended up actually trading back into the first round to grab him at 32 after the Pats passed on him yet again. So as to why they didn't want him, I mean, he's, the one knock on him is he never completed more than 59% of passes in the season. I don't think he's as refined a pocket passer as people believe he has to become to be successful in the NFL. I think that his athleticism and what he can do in terms of just improvising is something that could be really special, and he could end up being a great player. But, the Pats, the way they're going to approach this is they might take, a few flyers on guys. Obviously, Danny Etling is a flyer in the 7th round. If they end up signing Johnny Manziel, that's a flyer. But I think they're not going to go all in on a first-round guy unless they're absolutely, in love with the prospect. And Lamar Jackson, for whatever reason, they didn't want to devote a first-round pick and make him the likely successor to Brady. They just didn't like him enough.